Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of the DAN Show, and welcome to my latest 2021 NFL preview video. Today, I am going to break down the Green Bay Packers, but if you're new to my channel, this is your first time here, I've got one simple question to ask you. Do you like football? Because if so, you're in the right place. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, ring the bell. That way you can be notified every time I come out with a new video. If you've been here before, you already know the drill. You go ahead, you give me a thumbs up, and you drop a comment below. Ultimately, these videos are just conversation starters. I'm offering my opinion, but I really want to hear from you. Here's how this video is going to work. I'm going to give you 3 things I like about the Green Bay Packers, followed up by 3 things I don't like about the Packers. But stick around to the very end where I break down the Vegas over-under and I reveal if I am going to put action down on the Green Bay Packers. Now let's get it started with the 3 things I like about the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, the first thing I like about the Green Bay Packers is Aaron Rodgers. I've said this many times. When Aaron Rodgers is at his best, I've never seen a quarterback play better. Last year was the 3rd year that Aaron Rodgers was named MVP, and this year, last year may have been his best season. His completion percentage of 70.7 was the highest of his career, and the same thing with 48 touchdowns. Believe it or not, his 48-5 touchdown to interception ratio is not the best of his career. It's the second best, but normally when you have an interception ratio that's higher than 9-1, it's usually the best, but not for Aaron Rodgers. I will stand by this statement. I've been watching the NFL for over 40 years. I've never seen a quarterback play better than Aaron Rodgers when Rodgers is playing at his best. The second thing I like about the Green Bay Packers is Aaron Rodgers' weapons for 2021. Per the NFL Network, they have a list of the top 100 players voted on by the players, and Aaron Jones was 30th, and Devontae Adams was 6th. And Adams, per this list, was the number 1 wide receiver, and Jones, of course, being 30th, one of the best running backs. So you have those 2 guys that are coming back, but you also have second-year player in A.J. Dillon, the 250-pound running back out of Boston College. He's going to be a bigger contributor this year. You went ahead and traded for former Packer Randall Cobb, which is really going to help. And then last year you have a former free agent tight end who had a total of 13 catches in his previous 2 seasons, had 52 receptions for 586 yards and 11 touchdowns. Normally 11 touchdowns as a tight end will get you to the Pro Bowl. More than likely, and this is pretty common when it's an unknown player, is that when you have a great season, you make the Pro Bowl next year. So more than likely, you can pencil Tunyon in for the Pro Bowl in 2021, even if he doesn't get 11 touchdowns again. And don't forget, you also have to add Amari Rodgers into this group. I really like this player an awful lot. So you bring your offensive weapons back, plus you add a little more to it. So I can argue this is Rodgers' 14th season in the NFL, and I can argue that this group of weapons is the best group of weapons he's ever had in his career as an NFL starter. Now, the third thing I like about the Green Bay Packers is they have pass rushers. Green Bay led the NFL in scoring offense last year, and they averaged 31.8 points per game. And when you're scoring almost 32 points a game, the number one thing that you need is pass rushers. And like I mentioned before, on paper, their offense looks better in 2021 than it does in 2020. So when you look at Green Bay, the first thing I'm looking at is what kind of a pass rush do they have? Well, they have Zarius Smith, who had 12.5 sacks last year, 13.5 the year before. So in the 2 seasons that he's had in Green Bay, he's had 26 sacks. And then you have Preston Smith, who they signed 2 years ago. Now, he had 4 sacks last year, but he did have 12.5 the year before that. And then you have Rashawn Gary, who was Green Bay's first-round pick in 2019. He had 5 sacks last year and was getting more and more playing time as the season moved on. And he also did have 1.5 sacks in the playoffs. He had 1.5 against the Rams. So you really have 3 really good pass rushers. And then you also have Kenny Clark, a very effective nose tackle in this defense. Now, when you're scoring 32 points a game, you don't need the 85 Bears defense. But if you have pass rushers and the highest scoring offense in the National Football League, you're going to win a lot of games. So just to recap the three things I like about the Green Bay Packers, I like Aaron Rodgers. I like Rodgers' weapons for 2021. And I like the fact that Green Bay has pass rushers. Now, three things I don't like about the Green Bay Packers. First thing I don't like about the Green Bay Packers is they were public that they whiffed on getting Jim Leonard to be their defensive coordinator. Defensive coordinator for the Wisconsin Badgers decided to stay with the University of Wisconsin. So they went ahead and settled for Joe Barry, and hopefully this will be a home run hire, but it doesn't feel like it's a step up as far as their defensive coordinators are concerned. When you fire a defensive coordinator who really wasn't bad, it was 9th in points per game in 2019, 13th last year. I mean, the defense wasn't bad for Green Bay. Normally you want to get a step up. Normally you want to get an improvement. I don't think Barry's the guy. And it's bad for two reasons. One, you're public in that you wanted to get somebody and you didn't get it. You should have kept it under wraps. And second, you're getting a guy who's not really a big name candidate. Now he is keeping the 3-4 defense, the 3-4. But going into 2021, you can't say this is improvement. Like, for example, Dallas Cowboys are bringing in Dan Quinn. The Raiders are getting Gus Bradley. The Houston Texans are getting Lovie Smith. These would have been bigger name defensive coordinators I would have been a lot more happy with if I was a Packers fan. Second thing I don't like about the Green Bay Packers is David Bakhtiari's injury. As I'm making this video, it's unknown if David Bakhtiari is going to start week 1 or not. But even if he does start, he's probably not going to be up to the Pro Bowl form he was last year when he was one of the best, if not the best, left tackle in the National Football League. Now, it's more important that he's healthy for the playoffs and towards the end of the season. That's more important than whether he's healthy week 1. But if you're a Packers fan, this is a big red flag. Your left tackle may not even start the beginning of the season, much less be 100%. The third thing I don't like about the Green Bay Packers is I don't like their last 2 drafts. All right, the Jordan Love thing is beat to death, and A.J. Dillon's going to get an opportunity to contribute a lot more this year, so it's unknown if it's a wasted draft pick or not. But this year's draft pick I gave a C- to because I do like the Amari Rodgers pick in the 3rd round, but I really would have gone in a completely different direction for the first 3 rounds. You had first round pick Eric Stokes, who was widely considered a 2nd, 3rd round prospect, while Asante Samuel Jr. was widely considered a first round player. If you wanted to corner Samuel over Stokes, made a lot of sense to me. And considering you took Rodgers in the 3rd round, if you wanted a wide receiver, why not take Elijah Moore? He was taken 5 picks later at pick number 34 by the Jets. His 4.34 speed and return ability would have really boosted a special teams unit that was among the worst in the league last year. So now keep in mind, I do like Rodgers, but if you went ahead and you took Elijah Moore instead, you would have added a completely different dimension to this offense. Plus, you would have given a special teams boost. And your 2nd round pick of Josh Myers, now he's a solid prospect, a little bit of a reach, and he is going to be a day 1 starter, but Creed Humphrey was widely considered the better prospect, and he was the very next pick chosen, and he's going to be the starting center for the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's the issue is that if Samuel and Humphrey outperform Stokes and Myers, every other NFL team knew this, so why the Packers went in a different direction, there's really going to be no excuse for this. It's going to be a major miss because almost universally these 2 players were chosen ahead of these 2 players. Why the Packers went in a different direction. Hopefully it's a hit, but if it's a miss, somebody's probably going to get fired over it. So just to recap the 3 things I don't like about the Green Bay Packers, publicly missing on your choice to be defensive coordinator, the David Bakhtiari injury, and their last 2 drafts. Now, This is the advanced part of the show where I break down the Vegas over-under and I reveal if I am going to go ahead and put action down on the Green Bay Packers. Now, these numbers I am getting from Westgate Casino in Las Vegas. Depending on the sports book that you're using, you may have something different. If you have a question about a number that you see regarding the Green Bay Packers, drop a comment below and I'll offer my opinion on those numbers. But I'm going to give you the numbers I have available. Over 10.5 wins is negative 130, which means that you have to wager $130 to win 100. And under 10.5 wins is plus 110, which means a $100 wager will win you 110. To make the playoffs is negative 360 for yes, and then no is plus 300, and to win the NFC North is negative 225, which means you have to wager $225 just to win 100. Now, I would definitely pass on the NFC North number. I think Minnesota's gotten better. Chicago's kind of a question mark. I think they could be potentially a really dangerous team. They could also be a very bad team. I think overall the NFC North has improved. So I would definitely pass on the NFC North number. I would also definitely, you don't want to take to make the playoffs at negative 360. Plus 300 for Green Bay to miss the playoffs, 3-1 odds is still not good in my opinion. The reason why I brought up that I'm using Westgate is because at 10.5 negative 130 probably means that you could probably find 10 somewhere. At 10, I would be tempted to take the over. At 10.5, I am 100% going to pass on the Green Bay Packers because when I look at the Green Bay Packers, I don't think that they're going to win 13 games. Again, they've been 13-3 the last 2 years. There's enough question marks and changes on this team that I think that they will definitely lose more than 3 games. I actually think that they're a 10-11 win team. So to be perfectly honest with you, at plus 110, I might take the under. I might just take under 10.5 because 10.5 to me is a coin flip. Now, if I could get 10, I might take the over. And a lot of people may be confused that I'm taking under at 10.5 and I'm taking over at 10. It's just bottom line. I think the Packers are about 10-11 win team. I think that the win total will definitely go down. I just don't know how far it's going to go down. I don't know if they're going to win 11 games. I don't know if they're going to win 10. They may be a 9-8 team, and it wouldn't really surprise me. So my suggestion is I would completely pass on the Green Bay Packers. I would not recommend betting on this team for the yearly over-under. However, this is a team that I'm going to watch, and you might want to take advantage of them on a week-to-week betting situation because if Baker already seems to be at his Pro Bowl form, you may want to take advantage of Green Bay in covering some point spreads, especially some overs. Now, if he's not back to form, you may want to take advantage on some unders because there's going to be some high numbers that you could take advantage of. So, listen, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It really, really helps me out. I have a lot of respect for Packers fans. So if you're a Packers fan watching this, even if you disagree with what I have to say, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we need some Packers fans in this community. Now, don't forget, like this video and 100% leave a comment below. I'm making this video as a just a conversation starter. You get my opinion. I want to hear from you. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to break down Buffalo Bills. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.